following message is a public service announcement brought to you by your friends at DHanX.
The way I am, sexy, naughty, bitchy me. I'm the kind of girl that girls don't like. I'm the kind that boys fantasize. I'm the kind that your mama and your daddy were afraid to turn out to be like. I may seem unapproachable, but that's only to the boys who don't have the right approach.
Hi YouTubers, this is DHanX here, and I am coming to you with another video commentary. I'm going to go back to my original style of just filming me watching the original video and commentating on it, because usually Windows Movie Maker isn't very good with lining the narrating with the video. Well, I'm going to be doing this particular commentary on one person who has been synonymous with doing commentaries, best known for them knowing as ear rape copies. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be doing a commentary on a RandomDCE video. But this is from his new series of videos from Winger Dinger. It's Hate Mail Begins. This is his little opinionated videos on anime shows. This is from his second episode, based on his review of Ikki Tousen. Of course, he just watches one episode and makes an opinion on it, and he basically, well, let's just start this and let's get to the commentary here. This is from the anime you last reviewed.
You know, I might as well get this one out of the way now. That way it saves me seeing about 50 requests to look at it, and me getting a headache. I do admit the Cyber Team video was a good place to start. A rather unknown show that, based on what I saw from the comments, seemed to be cashing in on the card captures fad back in the late 90s. However, this show in particular is quite infamous with a lot of people, that I should not consider talking about it. As I said at the beginning of the first video, I wanted to avoid mainstream shows like Pokemon, Digimon, Sailor Moon, or any other shows that made it onto worldwide television. However, seeing how people would request it and want me to talk about it, I have no choice.
Okay. As far as I know, I don't think Ikki Tousen's ever made it to television. Maybe the anime channels, I don't know. But I really don't think this has been aired on television as of yet. Let's continue.
Ikki Tousen, ladies and gentlemen. This is a show that is more infamous than Bible Black.
Okay. An anime which mostly involves fighting. And apparently you do like fighting videos, as you praise things like Street Fighter. I guess only Street Fighter. I don't know. Which does show panty shots, butt shots, boob shots. Basically just flashes. It doesn't even show full-fledged nudity as far as I've seen of it. Is more infamous than an anime series based on human sacrifice. I did read Wikipedia random, so don't say I didn't do this without thinking. Demon possession, demon worship, and rape. Where are you balancing this at?
I don't think I need to elaborate any further. Let's get this over with. Our episode begins with a green object slowly flying past something scaly.
It's called a dragon. The guys, it's a dragon. It's a fire-breathing dragon, or, an Asian equivalent to that. You can't recognize a dragon? You've done stuff on Dragon Ball Z. You can't tell that's a dragon.
Interesting place to start, I guess. Then we cut to a store with a lot of mobile phones on display, to which a guy is punched into them. I guess his opponent has an issue with commercialism?
No, it's, a fighting series, A lot of fighting series usually start with fighting.
More people arrive at a huge Royal Rumble in the streets. Why?
Because they're fighting.
Before we go any further, yes, I did read the manga where this came from, but by the way, don't ask me who gave me the books.
Just keep that in mind.
It's a long story. So I do know a small part of the plot, but this is beyond me. You know, normally a narrator would kick in right about now and tell us what the hell's going on.
With their flesh and blood.
Ah, there he is. He begins to roughly explain that 7 rival schools are engaged in battle, due to them all bearing a fate handed down through generations.
People call them fighters.
I call them idiots.
Oh, it'd be like the people on Street Fighter that seem to physically fight each other all the time, too.
Seriously? These schools just fight each other? Isn't school a place of learning, an advancement of education? Not some place you go to beat the snot out of someone? Why does some anime have a blatant disregard of the education system? Now, yes, not every anime is like this one, and some shows do have a school setting without fucking around with it, like Azumanga Daioh, for example.
Which is pretty much interesting, because if you did do an anime series taking place of people learning in school, it'd be pretty kind of boring without some sort of actual plot.
Yet sometimes this alteration where a classroom becomes a war zone just bugs me.
Anything popular bugs you. Interesting that scene he showed here kind of reminded me of Dragon Ball Z with the dragon. The thing he calls the scaly thing wrapping around here does remind me of a scene from Dragon Ball Z.
Major part of the plot revolves around something called The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, a novel based on historic events in ancient China. An interesting choice for inspiration. Yet I kind of feel that the need for panty shots, butts, boobs, and other related things shows that the writers felt their main plot was boring and needed to be spiced up. That may not be the case, but
maybe because this series is a comedy as well as a fighting series. Maybe it's supposed to poke fun at fighting series, you know, with the obligatory sexual things. That's just my opinion. There is a lot, you know, stuff that you might want to get a chuckle out of, as well as a rise.
that's kind of how I see it. It's like a 12-year-old drew boobies over his English literacy exam paper because he was bored.
Is that what you used to do?
Granted, adapting a piece of work into a different setting does sometimes work, like The Great Mouse Detective or Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol.
I tend to disagree with you with The Great Mouse Detective. That movie really didn't sell so well when it originally came out. And I don't think the DVD of it is coming out doing quite well either. That was back when Disney's animation wasn't as high quality as it was back in the 90s. It was back in, like, what, the mid-80s? Mickey's Christmas Carol was basically the exception, but anytime you do an adaptation of Christmas Carol, it usually does very well because it's a very popular story. Just ask the Muppets and Mr. Magoo.
However, it just feels tacky to just add tits to a piece of work that doesn't need it.
Well, that's usually, you know, I mean, you being a fan of Marvel Comics, it's kind of called a what-if situation. It's what if this happened, you know. And you're showing pictures of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's just a what-if situation here, you know.
Okay, we've put it off long enough. Let's meet the main character, who is about as pleasant as eating dog food.
I just transferred to Nanual Academy today, and my hobbies are flower arrangement and tea ceremony.
This is called Huckafoo, while Kick-Ass tends to suck ass in the brains department. She, like it.
Well, usually that kind of fits most of the male fighters in any parts of this genre. You know, mostly fighters aren't that brainy there unless they're leaders of the group.
Bari is a complete half-wit, so we'll call her Half-Wit 2.
Boy, you certainly like to rank down ditzy chicks, don't you?
Half-Wit 2 claims to beat up 30 people in the school, then gets groped but doesn't seem to be offended by that.
65 on the bottom and 93 on top. That's a nice growth.
That's exactly right.